What does it mean to be a lion or a deer? If you're a deer or a lion, the purpose of your life seems pretty straightforward. Hunt, eat, defend yourself, and reproduce. But what does it mean to be a human? What should a human do? Things suddenly get complicated with just a few percentage change in DNA. In the case of human, intelligence turned out to be the best survival mechanism, and it evolved to such a great degree that the human brain became more capable than what was required for fulfilling the primary survival needs. Just like the purpose of making the computers was to perform calculations and logical operations, but it turns out we can do much more with the information arranged in the form of zeros and ones. However, it seems like humans were not psychologically prepared to have this amount of intelligence. Humans are currently at a weird stage of development of their civilization. They have been extremely curious, they have answered some pretty challenging questions, but have still not answered the extremely difficult ones. Why do the stars shine? We got an answer. Why does it rain? We got an answer. How do objects in the universe interact? We got an answer. We got better answers, and even better answers. How did the universe come into existence? No answer. What is the meaning of life? No answer. What path in life should we take despite the availability of huge amount of options? No definite answer. Did you subscribe to this channel yet? I don't know, man. You tell me. Does all this mean anything? No answer. We waited, and waited. No one could come up with a satisfying answer. So we started feeling incomplete, lost, and in chaos. At this point, some humans may settle for some shortcuts to these answers and delude themselves with the wrong answers up to the point that those questions even stop bothering them. If that sails your boat, then good for you, man. I just wish it worked for me and my homies. Now for many people who want the right answers, these questions still remain unanswered. So what will you do if you're in existential dread with those questions? Well, I kinda lied to you in the title. This video can't fix your existential crisis, but unlike other shortcut answers, what I can do is be honest with you. The questions that are making you question everything, they are difficult questions. In fact, extremely difficult ones. And don't get me wrong, humans have had quite an achievement with their civilization in the last few thousand years. We have been doing some serious science for what, last few hundred years or so? And a few hundred years is nothing in the timescale of universe. Humanity is still at a very early stage of its development, and these existential questions are one of the most difficult questions in the universe. So we can't expect to have satisfying answers to them so early, the answers that don't only satisfy us emotionally but also logically. So what can we do? First, we can start with having some gratitude for the place where we are at right now. Think like this. Billions of people born in ancient times died without even knowing what Earth looks like, or knowing the vastness of the universe, or having luxury to any technology that you have. Remember Pythagoras, the guy who said something about the right triangle? He was one of the greatest mathematicians who ever lived, and now you can know more than him just by passing high school mathematics. You have access to all the information in the world just at your fingertips. At last, remember that reasoning is the virtue of human nature and not the universe. So what's responsible for our existential angst is our innate desire for order, for reasoning to make sense of it all, our inability to tolerate the absurdity of the universe and its chaos. So the least we can do is keep looking, not just for the right answers, but also the right questions. And instead of trying to bend the reality to our will, embrace the chaos and the horrendous beauty it brings with it. Thank you.